Hello, my Jason. Welcome to my manga review for Chapter 55 of Fight Kaleid Lina Prisma Illya 3. And so we've been going back and forth these past few chapters between the Illya-Beatrice fights and the Sakura versus Kuro and Miyu battle. We finally conclude the Beatrice-Illya fight in very fairly quick fashion. It only lasted a couple chapters. I guess it makes sense. This isn't really a shonen manga. It's more of a magical girl. This part of Three has definitely gotten darker, but it's mostly a Mahou Shoujo series at its core in and of itself. And so we finally have the end of that. Big character moment for Illya, I would say. By the end, she really wanted to save Beatrice, believing that she had some good within her. That's some big story points within her herself, but she still had some moments of, innocence, I would say, some sort of fragility behind her through her love of Julian, and that's her final thoughts at the end as Bazette, I guess Rin had the plan of Bazette taking out Beatrice at the correct moment, which she does do with Frog Rock. I think that's how it's pronounced. But she takes out with one of her anti-noble phantasm moves as Beatrice, who's revealed, her class card at least, is revealed to be the son of Thor, Magni, and I guess, her power was increasing more and more. She learned from her father, I guess Thor, per se, in terms of the lore of her class card character. But she learned, as, using the class card Berserker, that you have to keep fighting, keep going forward. And that's the whole basis of her gaining more and more power. And Illya, the time limit was coming up for her class card, but she's still trying to put the card back in within herself, try to get more time with the Berserker card before she could lose her sanity. And that was a big story between that battle between those two. But they still kept the core of the Illya character, especially from this arc here in Three, where before all this happens, when Illya's trying to save Miyu, she was all about saving both Miyu and the world, having the best of both worlds, sort of having your cake and eat it too. And that really saves the Illya character here, this moment of her trying to save Beatrice. That's pretty much what I'm assuming Rin assumed as well, that Illya had this motivation behind her, and that she had this backup plan with Bazette. And I'm sure Rin understands what Illya's mindset is, having your cake and eat it too, trying to defeat Beatrice but not kill her at the same time. I'm presuming she's dead. They added some finality towards her thoughts of Julian, so I'm not really assuming that she's going to come back, but you never know. But like I said before, it's not really a shonen series, it's very much a shonen trope of a character doing a double switch in that moment there. They are moving on to the Sakura Miyu Kuro battle. Obviously Kuro was on the brink as she was holding her breath, using Miyu's poison from using the assassin class card against Sakura. However, it does not seem like that plan worked, as Sakura is emitting this black goo, and Miyu has a surprise face on her in the last panel, and so it definitely does not seem like the plan worked. What's going to happen next? Who knows at this point, because they've been throwing around a lot of twists and turns so far in these past couple of chapters, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if Shiro came in to save his sister, possibly his death will motivate Miyu's, or some other death perhaps as well that will come unexpectedly. I'd be really surprised if they actually did kill off Miyu or Kuro, at least. Kuro could definitely be a casualty as well, especially with a lot of the foreshadowing, lots of different dialogue here and there between the characters of Illya, Kuro, and all the other characters as well. I'm sure there'll be some sort of vague, obscure mythology coming about, as Luvia will provide the exposition for, as she provided the exposition for the Norse mythology involving Thor, Magni, and other people in history, at least in mythology, that have held Mjolnir. So I'm sure Sakura's mythology will get probably somewhere around King Arthur. I think a lot of fans are expecting a Lancelot class card for Sakura, but it could be something different. In the comments, Galahad was presumed as well, so it could be something along those lines. We're not really sure just yet. The author probably has something planned, something crazy, some bait and switch type of things. Probably something similar themes towards the Beatrice fights, which I'm personally okay with. It is very, very repetitive, but I guess it's sort of expected at this point, just sort of do what works best, I guess, for the author. And so I think the author really likes this type of trope, and so he'll probably keep going with that trope there. Angelica maybe might play a factor in the battle, playing sort of a double traitor kind of thing, perhaps. Very unlikely, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point of anything happening unless there is a major character death that I'm not expecting so far. That's the only surprising thing that can happen, a character death at this point in the series, and the aftermath of that as well is really interesting to figure out with Julian and his big plans. Gil, is he going to play a factor at the end as well? We've seen Gil these past I think over 20 chapters, I would say, since he disappeared at the end of the big epic battle where Illya used the Saber class card against Julian. We haven't really seen him since that time as well, so I'm not sure if he's going to play a factor in the battle coming up as well, whether he's going to save Illya and her crew. It doesn't really seem to be the motivation for him. He got his other Archer class card back, so he's complete at this point, so I'm not really sure what his motivations will be for the battle here, whether he has some sort of soft spot for Kudo. They did develop some sort of comedic bond with each other, while it's going to result in him saving her or not. We're not really sure thus far. But as for this chapter, pretty solid chapter overall. You had the themes of Illya and her character really brought in here. The battle is pretty epic, pretty hard-hitting as Beatrice kept gaining more power with the Berserker class card, and so pretty solid chapter overall. And so for rating, gonna give this chapter a B+. Definitely not really sure what's going to happen next, and so that's pretty reserved for the next chapters to come, what it's going to build for, and where they're going for the big overall story and plots for what's going on so far, the Julian stuff, and what Illya's destiny will be, and how she'll grow from this moment, from Beatrice's presumed death, and with Rin, but that seemed to go over her head and have their own backup plan against her. So very curious to see where they go from here, and especially in story and plot points and thematic points as well. Those are more big important things for me. And so what are your thoughts on this chapter? Put your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also make sure to rate this video and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Also share this video as well, really helps me out. Really appreciate all of that. Thank you for watching my manga review for chapter 55 of Fate Kaleid Lineup Prisma Illya 3. Hope you have a nice day. Bye bye.